IVM.
Hey everybody, we'd like to welcome a new sponsor, Storytel. Storytel is an audiobook streaming services for mobile and tablets. If you haven't heard audiobooks before and you're a podcast listener, audiobooks are probably right up your alley. You can enjoy your favorite titles when you travel, exercise, or cook. There are great books over here, like the Percy Jackson series is available if you want like some new fantasy, or if you want to go for something old school or classic. You can get either Bram Stoker's Dracula, or you could get Edgar Rice Burroughs' John Carter series. Download Storytel today from the app or Play Store and enjoy a free 14-day trial. That's Storytel, Storytel, Storytel from the App Store or Play Store. Download today.
This is a special edition of Paisa Vaisa featuring Mr. Anugrah Shrivastava of SmallCase. In the second part of this series, Anugrah talks to Anupam about a case study, if SmallCase offers an SIP, and the market mood index.
Folks, welcome back to this really special series on Paisa Vaisa. I'm Anupam Gupta, your host. We are talking about thematic investments with an interesting company, an interesting startup called SmallCase. I have with me Anugrah Shrivastava, who's the founder of SmallCase. In the first segment of this series, we spoke about what exactly is SmallCase, what it does, and how it is different from a mutual fund, how probably it's better than a mutual fund. And in this episode, we're going to talk about a real life case. You know, we're going to take a theme about an idea for investing and how that works. Then we're going to talk about how to open an account in SmallCase. And then we're going to talk about something very funky that these guys have, the market mood index. Anugrah, welcome back. Thank you for being on the show.
Pleasure is all mine, Anupam.
Thank you, Anugrah. So let's get into a live case, okay? So I am reading the papers and the budget just came out and I'm hearing about this thing called affordable housing. The government says that if you want a house and you don't have too much money to invest, and if you're okay with living in the outskirts of a city, then here's a scheme called affordable housing. And the government is backing that because they want people to own their homes. And I figure, okay, this looks good. This is going to benefit a lot of companies. So how would SmallCase approach that theme? Tell us about that.
So actually, we introduced affordable housing scheme after the last year's budget. Okay. Because in last year's budget, also government announced a lot of measures about the affordable housing, which they followed up with this year's budget. Okay. So last year, for example, they gave infrastructure status to affordable housing sector, which allows the companies operating in the sector to access capital at lower interest rates.
Yeah.
At the same time, there are a lot of other benefits given to the sector.
Yeah.
Okay. And government is aiming for a housing for all sort of a situation, I think by 2022 or something like that. So all these companies operating in this sector are expected to benefit.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a team available on the SmallCase platform, which investors can just buy in 2 clicks. What they need to do is just think of the amount that they want to invest into it, and rest everything is taken care by the platform. So I'll just quickly tell you how the theme, affordable housing theme, was built, and then I'll tell you how they can easily invest and track their bill.
Sure, okay.
So, what we did was basically, as we explained the whole process of creating a SmallCase in the last podcast, we started from the universe that is all this stuff is put on the exchange. The second, we identify which are the probable sectors or the companies operating in the affordable housing segment. For example, cement companies would benefit if there's a housing thirst. Then housing finance companies, or especially like mortgage finance companies operating in rural areas, or probably companies which are specifically building affordable housing. So we identify all these sectors which are expected to benefit from this theme. This becomes our second step. Then we put in our liquidity filters to remove all these small cap companies, so that whenever an investor comes and buy the SmallCase, he's able to actually get the share. That is, there's always someone on the other side to sell him those shares.
Yes.
Okay. Then we put in all the different filters that we spoke last time, and then created this index.
Okay.
Or what we call a SmallCase.
Okay.
Now it is available on the platform right now. Now every SmallCase has an index value. Okay. And whenever we launch a SmallCase, the index value of the SmallCase starts from 100. So for example, if the current index value of a SmallCase is 110, it means that it has generated a return of 10% since its launch.
Sure.
Okay. So the current index value of the affordable housing in SmallCase is 157.
Okay.
Okay. So what it means that the affordable housing theme has generated a return of 57% since its launch, which was almost a year back.
Wow, 57% in 1 year.
Yep.
Okay.
So, and now this is very long-term theme because the government has again backed up the whole theme with a lot of new announcements in this year's budget also. Okay. So any retail investor who is interested in buying into affordable housing finance team, okay. So affordable housing team, they can come to the SmallCase platform, okay, and do so in just 2 clicks. What they need to do is they need to just mention the amount that they want to invest into the SmallCase, and rest everything is taken care by the platform.
Okay.
So how the whole process, I'm assuming that the investor already has an account with the SmallCase. Okay. Now, if he has an account with the SmallCase, how the process works is he comes to the platform, selects the affordable housing SmallCase, okay, mentions the amount that he wants to invest in, let's say 25,000 rupees. Okay. Now we show him, depending on the weighing scheme of the SmallCase, which we discussed last time, that how many shares of each stock he would be buying.
Okay.
And he just needs to click on invest and confirm the same thing, and he would immediately get all the shares into his Demat account.
Okay.
So we don't just simplify the investment process. Okay, now we take the whole thing to the next level and actually simplify the tracking process for him also. Okay. Now what we do is, now as soon as he invests into a SmallCase, in this case affordable housing, we start his personal index also from 100. Okay. So let's say you today invest into affordable housing, your index will start from 100.
Okay.
So you don't need to go and look at the returns generated by each and every stock in the SmallCase. Okay. Because what generally happens a lot of time is that a retail investor, when he sees that a particular stock is down by 5%, okay, he ends up selling that stock without realizing that that stock is actually bringing in the necessary diversification in the portfolio.
Okay.
Okay. So what we do is we completely move him away from the single stocks. That is, you don't need to worry about how every particular stock in your SmallCase is performing. You just need to look at the index value of the SmallCase.
Okay.
If you when you invested, it started from 100. Let's say 3 months down the line, the value is 107. It means that your investment is 7% up. It's as simple as that.
Okay, great. Tell me one thing, Anugrah. If I'm new, so I am new to this entire thing. What do I need to have with me already, right? Because do I need to have a brokerage account? Do I need to have a Demat account? Do I need to have a PAN card and Aadhaar card? So like absolute basics. How, if I'm new to the process, how will this work for me? What do I need to sign up?
So how it works is basically you need to have a broking and Demat account with one of our broker partners.
Okay.
So currently we are live with Zerodha.
Okay.
So let's say you have a trading account which is linked to the Demat account at Zerodha. Okay. So that's everything that you need to start exploring the SmallCase platform. Okay. So how it works is that you don't need to separately deposit funds for a SmallCase and link your bank account or give your bank card details, nothing. If you have an account with our partner broker, you can use the same credentials to log into the SmallCase platform and seamlessly transact.
Okay.
So if you come to the SmallCase platform and select on login with Zerodha account, okay, you just need to give your Zerodha username and password, and you will be able to invest with the amount that you have in your Zerodha trading account.
Okay. And if I don't have an account there, you will handhold me through opening a new account with them.
Exactly. So that's how it will work.
Okay. And if I have it, say, with some other broker, will that also work, or would I need to have to open a brand new account with you?
For the time being, it's not going to work, but we are in the process of tying up with a lot more brokers very soon.
Okay.
So hopefully it will start working soon.
Okay. What are the costs involved out here? Just for me to know, because, brokers normally charge 0.5% commission out here for buying and selling, and then there is security transaction tax, and then there is stamp duty, and then there is transaction. So it's really confusing. So just walk us through that.
So how it works at Zerodha is that Zerodha doesn't charge anything on equity transactions. Right? It's completely free. So when you're buying and selling a stock, there is no brokerage at Zerodha.
Okay.
So, but there will be some other statutory taxes like STT and everything, or SEBI turnover charges or transaction charges, which are normally related with the stock investing.
Sure.
So those set of charges will apply.
Okay.
Plus 100 rupees, a SmallCase fee.
That
is only one time.
Okay, that's a one-time fee that I pay to SmallCase.
Yes.
Okay.
After that, whenever you transact, it's just always the government and exchange charges that you need to pay.
Okay. And there's no lock-in out here. Suddenly I change my mind tomorrow, I can sell out and that's it.
Get in and get out at any point of time. There are no lock-ins and nothing.
Okay, great. I saw this really funky part in your website. It's called the Market Mood Index. So Folks, we are recording this somewhere in the first week. Today is actually 8th Feb. So today, in fact, the Nifty is up big time. The last week has been a little bit rough for all of us because the market's been falling a bit. And today it's recovered, which is why I thought it's an opportune time to ask Anugrah about the market mood index. So tell us about that, Anugrah.
Okay, so this is something that we have built in partnership with ET now, okay, because you can track the market mood index on our website as well as it is broadcast live on the ET Now news channel. Okay. Now, what this index do is basically it helps retail investor identify what could probably be the right time to get in or the right time to get out of their stock investments or in general equity investments. Okay. Now, because this is the most obvious question that all the retail investors keep asking, right? Yeah. Okay, I want to invest, but when should I invest?
Correct.
Right. Now, and the whole thing is actually based on the philosophy of Warren Buffett, as his famous quote goes that be greedy when others are fearful and be fearful when others are greedy. Right?
Yes, of course.
So what we're trying to do is basically we have built a scale on which we try to measure the sentiment on the market. That is whether the investors are greedy right now, acting greedy right now, or they're acting fearful right now.
Okay.
Now the scale goes from 0 to 100.
Okay.
Any value between 0 to 20 means there is extreme fear on the street. There's extreme fear in the market.
Okay.
And any value above 80, it means there is extreme greed.
Okay.
So whenever there is extreme fear in the market, what we have observed historically is that markets bottom out. Okay. So probably that's the right time to get in.
And what is the market mood today? Just so that
I think it was, it's a live thing. It takes every second. Okay. So I think the last I checked, it was around 19.
Whoa.
So it's saying is that it's a good time to get in.
Folks, I hope that by the time you're listening to this, you have actually purchased something in the market and that has worked out for you. Great.
So it actually went into the extreme fear zone yesterday.
Yeah,
that's when the market actually bottomed out.
There was a bit of that. I would say that's good timing. So this index is available on your website, right?
Yeah, it's mmi.smallcase.com. It's free of cost, available to everyone.
Okay, great. Anugrah?
So what basically it tells is that it's not a recommendation engine at all.
Obviously,
okay? Like everybody knows that in long-term equities are going to work, right?
Yes.
But what it does is basically once you have decided that you want to get in, it might just help you better time the trade.
Correct. Okay. Anugrah, tell us about how can listeners reach out to you? What is, so if they want to open an account with SmallCase, what's the deal out there? I think this is a good time for you to explain the product to our listeners and how they can reach out to you, how they can start working with you.
Okay, so it's pretty simple. Just come to smallcase.com. Okay, if you already have an account with our partner broker, then you can just directly start by putting in your user credentials, your broker credentials. And if you don't have an account, we will guide you to the relevant process or the relevant channel where you can easily open an account. For example, currently we are live with Zerodha. You can open an account with Zerodha online in just 5 minutes using your Aadhaar. Okay, so that's what you need basically to start transacting or using a SmallCase. In terms of what a SmallCase is, small cases are, we have already discussed. Okay, so I will quickly tell as in terms of what more can you do onto the platform.
Sure, of course, yeah.
So how it works is that everybody knows about systematic investment plans, right?
Yes.
And we know that equities is the best instrument to create wealth in the long term. And instead of trying to time the market, it would be best to follow a systematic approach, right? And Indian investors are now tuned to the concept of SIP because mutual fund companies have been promoting this.
Yes.
Right. So the same option is available for small cases also. You can come once you have bought a small case, you can set a small case also. That is, every month we will reach out to you saying that your SIP is due and you can apply the same in just 2 simple clicks. Okay. In addition to that, now there is an option to create your own small case also. Okay. So what we have done is, last year we launched India's most comprehensive stock screener.
Okay.
It's called screener.smallcase.com.
Okay. Yeah.
We have recently opened it for everyone in December. So now anybody having a Facebook or Google account can access the screener. Okay. Now, it helps you very easily and quickly build your small case and transact it easily. So, for example, let's say you come to the platform. We already have a lineup of more than 60 plus ideas, but assume that we don't have something which you are looking for.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's say you are looking for some undervalued FMCG stocks to buy into. Okay. So you can directly come to skinner.smallcase.com. Okay. Just select FMCG sector. Select from the go to the valuation filter. Select undervalued. It will show you the list of the companies. Select the companies that you want to buy in. Okay. And it will automatically create a small case for you. You can pick the weighing scheme that you want to apply and then directly buy in just 2 clicks.
Okay.
So that's how, so you can actually create your small cases also onto the platform.
Okay.
And now what we are going to do, going forward is that we are going to give an option to share your small cases also.
That's interesting.
So, because that's how generally investing also works. Because what I've observed is that time I end up probably buying into a stock which my friend has recommended me. Right? Most of the times whenever we are meeting for breakfast or lunch, we keep discussing about, okay, this particular company is doing good or that company is doing bad, right? And in general, retail investors, they want that second validation that probably somebody in their network is also investing into it, right?
Yes.
Or probably you would have some family members or some relatives who would want to invest into where you are investing. Right? So what we will give an option is, let's say tomorrow you create a small case onto the platform, okay, and you want to share it with your family members, you can easily do it with just few clicks.
Okay.
And they can also buy into the set of the stocks. So the whole social layer would be added to the platform. Okay,
great.
And last but not the least, we are soon going to introduce other asset classes onto the platform through ETFs also.
Oh, that's interesting. That question did strike me, that if I'm someone who wants to just put in debt mutual fund for some time and then move to equity later, do you have something for me for that? I kind of thought that you're only equity, but that's great to hear. So how will that work?
So what we are thinking right now is that undoubtedly, if I want to create wealth in, let's say, 10 to 20 to 30 years of time, everybody knows that the answer to that question is invest into equity. But most of the time, retail investors don't have the appetite to look beyond the short-term volatility, right? Because they would want to have some portion of their wealth protected and some portion of their wealth getting built over time.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So we are going to introduce few products which will help you grow your investments very systematically and not take full-blown equity exposure.
Okay.
So it might have a portfolio where you have a small exposure to equities, small exposure to fixed income, a small exposure to gold, and a small exposure to liquid funds.
Oh, okay.
And it will keep up. So actually, we have not put in public domain, but keeping it exclusively for this podcast, the kind of portfolios that we have built, I'm pretty sure that you are aware about the Sharpe ratio, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So for your listener, Sharpe ratio basically tells you how much risk you are taking for the returns.
Yes.
So historically, Sharpe ratio for Nifty, which is the market index, has been around 0.7.
Okay.
And with these portfolios, we are going to give a Sharpe of beyond 1.5 to the retail investors.
Okay. That's interesting.
So it's going to give you some sort of similar returns, but at a much lower risk.
Lower risk, yeah. That's what I figured. So thank you for sharing that with us, and I wish you guys all the very best. And that's a wrap on our podcast, folks. That was the second part of our 2-part series special on thematic investments, and I hope you enjoyed that. Anugrah, thank you so much for your time, and all the best to SmallCase.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for listening. If you have any money-related questions, you can tweet to us at IVM Podcasts or email us at paisavaisa@indusvox.com.
No material on this show should be considered as financial advice. The material on this show is for informational purposes only. Please consult a financial advisor before taking any investment decision.
He bends down to test the warm water for his bath. He comes here to quench his thirst for a hot shower and some podcasts. You can witness how he enjoys having other people talk about cool stuff in his bathroom. Indeed, it helps him with his loneliness. You can find more of his pieces on ivmpodcast.com, your one-stop destination where you can check out the coolest Indian podcasts. Happy listening.